Welcome back to another haul video, and this one is dedicated specifically to vintage purses. Now, you saw a bit of a preview of this the other week, and I wanted to do a dedicated video on some of the pieces because I was able to get the story behind the woman who owned these. And when you see them, they're gonna knock your socks off. I was not prepared for everything that was in this box. Now, earlier this week, I had a gentleman call saying that he had a bunch of stuff from his mother that he was trying to find a place for, a new home for. And he said they were a lot of antique vintage purses. Some were in their original boxes, brand new, never used. And I was thinking, you know, the usual vintage clutch, just the typical purse that you think of when you think of vintage. But when he came in today and I started looking through them, I really had to contain myself at what I was seeing. So let's dive in and prepare to be amazed. Now, I'd already gone through the box just to get it organized. So the top layer are all pieces that I intend on selling, and the bottom layer are pieces that I'm going to be keeping, and you'll see why. So let's go through each of these beauties. Now, the first is this gorgeous late 1950s, maybe early 1960s little clutch coin purse, metallic gold, looks like faux crocodile or alligator skin. And then it has another zipper pouch on the bottom, which I thought was so cool. And the amazing thing is, all of these are in amazing condition. She didn't use them very often, and if she did, they were to like little parties and get-togethers. They lived in Los Angeles, and they went out every Friday night partying, cocktailing it up, and she did it in style. So this one was definitely one of my favorites, just because of how unique it is, and it's metallic, and I'm a sucker for metallics. Continuing on with the metallic theme, we have this 1950s, early 1960s metallic silver clutch. And I'll put a photo up here, but any of you who loved Barbies growing up in the 90s, you may remember those little silver Barbie clutches, little metallic ones that they would hold. And I remember I had gold and silver, and that's exactly what this one reminds me of. Now, what I love about this is it does have these hinges, and it securely stays closed, snaps right open, jet black interior, perfect condition. But also, she left in her little hinky, and you see that there's still little lipstick spots on it. And that was a theme throughout these purses, that whatever she left in the purses stayed in them. Her son just thought they were in the purse, they should stay with the purse. So some people may think that's gross, but I don't know, it just adds to the history. Such a gorgeous piece. I'm excited forever is going to be the new lucky owner. This one is really unique, and it looks very basic on the outside. It's this it's a very deep navy, almost borderline black, has the gold tone finish, and I love this clasp that holds it shut. But look at that interior. It's all of that red, gorgeous apple red leather, impeccably amazing condition. That pop of color, when I opened it, it really took me back, because that doesn't look like what would be inside of a very classic, basic looking clutch. This is the purse's day wear, and the red is their saucy lingerie that is worn underneath. But I thought this was so cool because of that surprise lining, and anybody that comes in and opens it up is gonna see that surprise like I did and completely fall in love with it. And it's pretty heavy too. All of these are completely substantial, made to last, and they were really well cared for. Now, this beauty is covered in glitter because there is a belt in there that has glitter on it. But again, this is another very beautiful black little clutch, and coin purse, but then you open up the interior and just look at that gold lining. It's absolutely insane. And I love how you wanted a simple purse that went with all of your outfits. If you went out for cocktails, but you can't just have a simple black purse. You have to have a little bit of interest in it. And I just think this is the coolest thing. And you can't really see it on camera, but opening this up, it literally is like a light went off in here. It's glowing, absolutely glowing, and in perfect condition. Like, she really cared for all of her pieces, but she wore them for very, very special occasions. So these weren't her everyday purses, and you can tell, and it'll become very clear as we get through the box. Now this is a beautiful icy silvery blue beaded and sequin embellished clutch with silver hardware. It's missing a little rhinestone up here, but that can be easily fixed. But how gorgeous is this? And again, they look in brand new condition, but I assure you they are decades old. And this was from the early 1960s. It is very heavy. This one has a little bit more wear in it, some slight discolorations, but it was made in Hong Kong. And just, I don't know, the interior of this, especially when you look at this little pocket, it reminds me of the satin lining in a lot of vintage suitcases. How gorgeous. Ugh. I have to get a close-up of this one. Now, not to be outdone, it does have a twin, but this one is in all black, and it does still have the rhinestones up in the clasps. But when I tell you these are heavy, like, this purse has to weigh easily 3 pounds, if not more. It is so heavy and decadent, but even with my poor lighting in here, you can just see how it sparkles, and there's not a bit of tarnish on here. So let's crack this one open. And again, it has the cool little pocket luggage detail. Each one has a little safety pin in it, which I'm assuming maybe she put those in there to hold her hankies. But let's see what the maker's tag is. It's a brand called Fortune, again, made in Hong Kong. And like I said, this family lived in Los Angeles, so they had the best of the best of boutiques, international shopping. You see a lot of these heavily beaded pieces that are very Hollywood, and you can see that displayed in these. I'm in awe, and again, the weight of them is what gets me. They're so weighty. I'm obsessed. Now this beaded purse is a little bit older. He was thinking this was more than likely his grandmother's, because his mom and grandmother would go out partying together. But as you can see, it has all of that ornate beading as well. It does have a little bit more wear. Let's see if I can get this one open. So I'm pretty sure this one was from the earlier part of the 50s. Interior is wonderful, and I don't think I can get a good shot of this, but there's a little tag in here, and this one was made in Czechoslovakia. So you have all this beautiful Czech beading, which you see a lot of jewelry, Czech glass. I have some pieces of jewelry myself, and this is the beaded version when you get it in a handbag. And I just love how it has this little tab at the bottom, almost very reminiscent of kind of Victorian purses, a little bit of a nod. You have beautiful little branchy leaves embellished on the side. Another really gorgeous one. Has a little bit of mending that needs to be done at the top, but overall, really wonderful condition considering how old it is. This is the belt that has been causing glitter to get over everything. And I love belts. I sell belts a lot here in the store. These ones, again, need a little bit of work, but we have the heavily beaded black waist belt, and this one just has a lot of glitter, and this is Raymond Ridless. I'll have to look that brand up, but getting glitter everywhere. Just need to put something a little bit heavier on here to uncrimp it. It's a little crimped from being in a box for so long, but 2 non-purses that I got, and I can't wait to get these out, especially in time for the holidays and holiday parties. Also have this adorable little icy blue sequin coin purse. Now at first I thought this went to that heavily beaded one, but they're not the same shade of blue, so I'm pretty sure it must just be standalone. But another really, really great piece, and in wonderful condition when you open it up. I'm a sucker for iridescent sequins and beads. Now this one I'm not going to take out of the bag. This one is quite a bit older. Based on my initial looking, I believe this is Edwardian. So I'm pretty sure it's more in the late teens, early 20s, very similar to ones I have in the collection. But as you can see, the beads are coming off on the back, and all of the beads are currently in the pouch. And I don't want to lose any because I want to get this restored at some point. But if you can see under the plastic, it has this gorgeous little floral pattern. We have the brass hardware at the top. Another really stunning piece, and with the exception of the beads that are coming off, it really is in remarkable condition considering its age. But the base of it is cotton, and it's lasted really well, and you can tell these were stored impeccably based on the condition and the fact that they're not completely disintegrating. All right, now we get to the pieces that really jump-started my heart. And this one little piece I forgot about, but we got with it this little purse hook holder. He had it set up all nice, but you just set it on a table and hang your purse on it, and this would balance on the table. Has this little crown detail on it. Camera doesn't want to focus in on it. There we go. Really, really beautiful. You still see some of these today, but in my opinion, not as cool. Because the holidays are fast approaching, he gave us these vintage Christmas carols for free, which I'll be putting up in our window display. But the first one we got is in its original box, and a little story behind his family. So they lived in Los Angeles. His dad was a Shriner, so they went to a lot of Shriners parties, and I know that the people I've worked with and have acquired some of their pieces who have been in the Shriners or had family members, they had very lovely things, and the parties were definitely the talk of the town. So these next purses, from what I know, were ones that she would have brought out for some of the really big, important parties. So open that up, and you have this insane heavily embellished clutch and chain, and you see the name of the shop there, and I'm going to do a little bit more research on this brand, but it really looks like, I mean, she obviously used it. The brand is it La Regale Limited? I'll have to look that one up too, but absolutely beautiful. And her lipstick is still in here, and I believe this purse must have been from the 80s, I'm guessing, and this lipstick might have been as well. I don't know if I can zoom in on it. Clarion, Heather Berry, and this lipstick does smell kind of rank, but a really beautiful color. So obviously this purse was one that she used. And close the cap on that because it really stinks. But what he thought was cool is in the purse, you see this napkin that has her lipstick blotting on it, which, again, some people may think is kind of disgusting, but if you look inside the napkin, she got it on Fisherman's Wharf. Whaling Station Inn restaurant. And I know it's just cool to see where a lot of these people were, where these purses, dresses, everything, what story they had, where they were, where they've been. And so I'm honestly keeping that with the purse. And I'm gonna put the lipstick back in there, just making sure again that the top is closed, because it smells like the oldest, nastiest crayon you've ever had. But how gorgeous are all of the details. I mean, you could easily see a character from Dynasty carrying this purse around. And again, the fact that it came in its original box, just insane. All right, we're down to the bottom of the box, and in deciding which one to go next, they're all equally as amazing, but I'll do this one first because it's in its original box, and this one is gonna knock your socks off. It literally stopped me dead in my tracks, and it hit me. Now, more than likely, a lot of these pieces, since they came from Hong Kong, some of them came from China, you know, you have those great neighborhoods where you buy a lot of these fashions that just transcend time, and this one is definitely one of it. So we have this fully decked out rhinestone clutch, and I'm gonna try to, so here's a Shriner. This is dated 1974. This is card, and I had to add in there when I was looking at this. Now, if anybody remembers Miss Ruby that I've talked about in many videos, when I bought pieces from her estate, this Shriner's medallion was in with it, and this was from 1978. And we have another Shriner's piece and gift in there as well, so I tucked that in there just for good measure. So let's take a peek inside. Now, it's not often you get pieces that actually have the dates attached to it. You normally have to do a lot more investigating. So this really was a treat. And try to zoom in on the little clasp, fully decked out in rhinestones, vibrant, and just absolutely gorgeous. And again, it's very weighty. It's got a lot of heft to it, but could you imagine walking into a party with this beauty? I mean, it's definitely a head turner. And this one, I really don't think she used much at all. The lining is still in impeccable condition. The original tissue paper is still in it, so maybe it might have been a little too flashy for her, but she did bring it out while she was out clubbing and cocktailing. This definitely would have made her the envy of everyone she came in contact with. All right, so we have 2 purses left, and these ones are really, really something. And if you are a lover of vintage cosmetics, then you're definitely going to want to see this. Now, for all of you vintage aficionados out there, seeing this purse, you probably already know what it is. But it is, of course, a Whiting and Davis mesh little coin purse. And with the past few jewelry hauls I've gotten, there have been Whiting and Davis chains, like gold chains, that I've been keeping and tucking aside in hopes that one day I can get my hands on one of these coin purses or clutches, and then eventually one of the chain mesh tops. So we're well on our way, and a little bit of restoration here. Some of the rhinestones are missing, but honestly, that's not anything I care about. But it's in stunning condition, and again, these mesh pieces just feel so smooth. They're stunning, absolutely stunning. Nothing compares to it nowadays, and Whiting and Davis was known for these mesh pieces. And you can see the interior is still in just as wonderful condition. Let's see if I can get the tag out. And there we go. Whiting and Davis Co. mesh bags made in the USA. Now, I'm not sure if this one was his mother's or his grandmother's. They both obviously loved beautiful things and beautiful purses. This one I'm pretty sure is earlier 1950s. I'll know for sure and I'll pop it up on the screen, but definitely one I've been wanting in my collection, and I was not expecting to walk through my door in Fargo, North Dakota, but somehow they find their way here, and I couldn't be more excited. Now this is the one that really, I mean, all of them got my heart beating, but look at this beauty. Now when I first looked at it, it reminds me immediately of those old water bottle heating pads that you unscrew the top and put the water in. But this mesh almost is like, it's like scale brass, and you see beautiful kind of teal, watery blue, gold enamel. And before I could even really start to open it, he was very excited to say, well, open it up, it's a compact. And he didn't need to say more. I obviously cracked this baby open. Now you can see the interior, again, wonderful condition. It has some acid-free tissue paper in there. You see this little hidden compartment. And when pressed to open it, voila, opens up into this wonderful little powder compact and sifter. No powder left, but that's just as well. Nothing to damage the interior, but the fact that the puffs and the sifter are still in there is absolutely stunning. Now I have to do a closer inspection on this one to see if I can find a stamp on it. I saw some similar pieces online, obviously none exactly like this one, that had names to them, but they had a stamp along the edge. So I am just going to give a quick look to see if I can figure it out, and then give you a little bit closer of a look at what we have in here. Now I looked through this whole piece and I didn't see any stamps on it, so I will keep looking and searching, but just look at the front of that. Now this is a design, very Art Deco, very reminiscent, if you've ever been to the Empire State Building, of the design in their main lobby. I believe this one is from the 1930s. Again, I have to do a little bit more research on it, but I want to take a close-up of the little chain handle and the beautiful little engravings. Again, they look similar to some check necklaces and some of those chains that I get in, but absolutely beautiful details. Very excited. This one I plan obviously on keeping and putting in my cosmetics display because it's just too good. And you very rarely come across these anymore, especially in the part of the country that I'm in. It's farming country. People just didn't have pieces like this, but when you get families that came here from California and somehow their kids found their way here, luckily they find their way to me at some point or another. That is another quick haul of what I just got in all of these amazing vintage purses. I'm excited to start getting some of these listed online, and as usual I'll put the link below. If you don't see them online, they probably have already sold, but I'm happy when I see these pieces and get to actually handle them in person and be able to show everybody how these pieces were made. I mean, you'll never see a piece like this again being made now. I mean, I couldn't even imagine if you tried to recreate these nowadays and you used the good materials that they used back then. These purses would, I mean, I don't even know how to guess. Put in the comments how much you think these would cost brand new nowadays. It would be way more than any I could afford. So that's why it's just amazing to see these, and I'm excited to get them on display and share all of them. So thank you so much again for watching, and let me know what you think. And if you have any fun tidbits that I didn't mention about any of these purses, or if you have favorite purses in your collection that you love or have sold, let me know. I love hearing about them. It's nice to be surrounded by people that get as excited about these pieces as I do. Well, I am losing my voice, so I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and we will see you again next week.